there's something structural here. It's not necessarily just about personalities. And this goes back to, I think, to partly to Europe's recognition of that its place in the world has changed. You had small European countries kind of confronted with two things. Obviously, the role of the United States in the world, but also increasingly the role of China. So, in that context, I think part of how I understand the EU, for instance, is a way for the single European countries to knit their identity together in a very fraught manner occasionally, in order to protect their distinctive social, economic, and political model from being overrun by changes emanating from a world that was dominated by the US and by China. And that's the process of European integration that's gone ahead and fit and starts. Europe's internal focus on sorting out the EU, trying to make the Eurozone more resilient, would naturally make it more introspective and less willing to go off on international crusades. Now, what's happened, obviously, as a result of the US election, is we have an American presidency that also seems much less willing to go off on international crusades. That's the model that's signaled by the America First rhetoric of Mr. Trump, which actually leaves Europe even more alone, right? Because there are differences of opinion within the EU as to what extent Russia is a security threat, but clearly the prospect of a US-Russian thaw under a President Trump means that the people who are more inclined to take a somewhat dovish view towards Russia within Europe, they feel strengthened. Those who felt more hawkish probably have to face up to the fact that they do not have that strong ally across the Atlantic. So I think all of this leads to, this strengthens the prospect of European introspection, which I think from Europe's point of view is probably a good thing, because what they really need to do is figure out how they're going to make the EU work better.